will be the third and sort of final life event that I think set me on the path of becoming an educator specifically focused on English learners. Was growing up in a small rural farming community. When I was growing up until late elementary school, my community was very homogeneous, monolingual English community that I saw transform over one summer into the diverse community that it still is today. There used to be a unionized packing company called Rath Packing Company, and that packing company employed a number of community members who, again, were very homogeneous, monolingual English speakers. And when that packing company closed over the summer, it reopened as a non-unionized packing company. And those of you who are familiar with the industry know what that means. It means we went from pretty high-paying jobs that, again, were governed by the union to very low-paying jobs. And those jobs recruited from community members outside of our community, in fact, outside of the United States. And that changed the look and feel of our community overnight. So we went from being 100% English speakers to very quickly becoming a community of high percentage of Spanish speakers, as well as a percentage of English speakers. And the face of diversity literally changed overnight. And as I mentioned, this is in my late elementary, early middle school years. And as I watched the community transform and move through this transition, I was really appalled at just the lack of readiness and the lack of, I guess, just empathy and education and understanding in community members who had lived there their entire lives, third, fourth generation family members who had been there, like my family, and even my own grandparents, just out of a lack of understanding, a lack of education, a lack of exposure, never having had any opportunities to, live alongside anyone who spoke another language or didn't look exactly like they looked. I think it was a really rough transition for some of these folks. And I heard them say things that were really disheartening. Like I said, in very formative years of my life, I watched this sort of as an outsider, but also inside as well, just trying to think about why, humans couldn't just see the humanity in one another. And it really helped me, I guess, grow my own sense of empathy, along with, again, living in poverty, having walked in those shoes, and then being able to experience firsthand the change of diversity and a rapid shift to a very bilingual community. That really set me on a path of wanting to do better and be better and help communities like my own become more open and embracing of diversity, and also just, again, understanding what it would take to have a better experience for families coming into small rural communities or any community where they were welcomed and embraced and their culture celebrated. I wanted that so much for my own community, and I didn't have that. And the students who came and their families who came didn't have that. And I really wanted to be able to change that in my own community. And so when I graduated from the University of Iowa with a teaching license in elementary education, I had endorsements in English as a second language, reading, and special education, kindergarten through 8th grade. And those endorsements I got because I really, again, wanted to help students who were multilingual learners, but also students who, maybe have special needs, and also students who struggle with literacy. I was fortunate enough to help create their K-12 ESL program. So back in the day, we called it English as a second language program. It was a pull-out program. So over the next several years, I taught in ESL K-12, and then I took a teaching position in a Title VII program. So back in the day, there used to be a federal program called Title VII. It was a bilingual title program where federal funding was used to support the development of bilingual programs across the country. And I was able to teach under this grant program, and I co-taught alongside some of the most talented bilingual educators in K-5 classrooms, probably in the country and for sure in Iowa. And I provided the English language development support as a co-teacher with the Spanish language content staff. So we were partnering, planning together. I was planning for the English language development piece while the co-teacher was planning for the content in both English and Spanish. And this was such a tremendous learning opportunity for me because it allowed me to deepen my understanding of how to make content comprehensible through both native language support and English language development strategies.